on Dive Deep. We are talking about the 9th of Av, time of sorrow, clearly a day marked by the Lord for a day of mourning. This is going to be our August 2nd through 3rd, 2025. First date of the 9th of Av. You can find that in Numbers 13. This is when the Lord sent out those 12 tribes into the land to go spy out the promised land, but 10 came back with a bad report. So let's just go ahead. Let's start on Numbers 13. The Lord spoke to Moses saying, send men to spy out the land of Canaan, which I am giving to the children of Israel. From each tribe of their fathers you shall send a man, everyone a leader among them. We just did the studies of the almond branch where they had to send out the 12 rods, put each leader's name, the father of each tribe, on that rod, set it in the tabernacle of meeting, and that the Lord would have one who was going to be marked as the leader of the tabernacle would bud, and that was Aaron's rod. So we just went over that study. Be sure you go back, watch that if you haven't seen it. Hey, these studies are short. We want to get you to know what's going on God's calendar, get to know a little bit more about the Lord, and then get on with your day. So let's go ahead. Let's go into Numbers 13:18. Go see what the land is like, whether the people who dwell in the land are strong or weak, are there few or many, whether the land they dwell in is good or bad, whether the cities they inhabit are like camps or strongholds, whether the land is rich or poor, and whether there are forests or not. Be of good courage and bring some of the fruit of the land. Now the time was the season of the first grapes. So it's marking a time period. Now there's different colored grapes that come in at different times, but this is giving the first hint of the time of Av. Numbers 13:25 says 40 days later, they come back from the valley of Eshcol with this large cluster of grapes. Now they would later then name this the Valley of Eshcol, named by them for the grapes that they brought back into the land. And I can't help but wonder who were the two spies that carried these large grapes. What was the conversation? What was the thoughts going through their head? Were they the loudest of the 10 that would come back and say, these people are going to devour any inhabitants of the land? Just their snack, it took 2 people to carry. These are the largest grapes that they have ever seen. There has got to be a fear when traveling back from this place in with this fruit. And the carrying of the fruit is now a testimony that the people will see these grapes are humongous. Yes, they're going to devour us. They're seeing with their eyes, and there is a lack of faith. And in Numbers 14:11, the Lord said they lack of faith, even with all of the signs and wonders that I have sent them. He said they tested him 10 times. I want you to go ahead and circle that in your Numbers 14. That number 10, we're going to jump right back into it. But they seen those grapes, and they had a lack of faith for what they seen. Then Joshua and Caleb speak to the people, and the two say, no, they will be our bread. We will eat them. That their time is no longer protected. You see, the Lord had them just there for that time. The giants were protected to build. The giants were protected there to inhabit the land for a purpose and for a season. And this goes to kind of show you what's going on with Israel with the area of the temple for the third temple. The Muslims are there to hold the land, to hold the area. It is being there for a set time. Sent out the spies to view the land. The Lord knew what the land looked like. He designed for the giants to be there in the land. The Lord didn't just plant little fields, little crops. He didn't just have them build small palaces, small buildings, homes. Everything was grand. It was the land of the giants. It was the land of the fallen. But they were building great things with grand measures for a wonderful promised land for his people that would believe in faith and walk it out. You see, they would go and they would build the ceilings to be tall, the door frames to be wide, the fruit to be large in scale, because this was for the upcoming people, The Lord looks ahead to his promised people. That is his promised land. 10 and the 20. He has 10 spies come back with a bad report. So the 10 spies speaking about unconquerable land, lacking of faith, starting the first day of Av. This is in the year 1313 BC. Interesting enough, coming from Numbers 13. The Lord works in his numbers. Let's go into Numbers 14:29. It says, the carcasses of who you have complained against me shall fall in this wilderness. All of you who were numbered according to your entire number from 20 years old and above, except for Caleb and Joshua, you shall by no means enter the land which I swore I would make you dwell in. But your little ones, whom you said would be victims, I will bring in, and they shall know the land which you have despised. But as for you, your carcasses shall fall in this wilderness. The Lord said, because you said that I will take down your little ones, that I will be sure that your little ones under the age of 20 will see the promised land, but your carcasses will fall in the wilderness, that you will not see the promised land because your lack of faith in me. So all of them who were numbered, interesting that they're going off of the age of 20 and above. So God is marking his time of the 20. He is marking that time. We talked about how the 20 stands for the hand of God and his power. It also is a negative thing, more than likely, when you're reading in the stories for the victory of the side of God's people. There is usually a defeat by the hand of God. So God's people will be defeated, but it's because of the sin in the camp or because of consequence or lack of faith. So the 20, the 200, the 2,000. So you have 10 times 2 is 20. He said that they tested him 10 times. There's a lot of things going on with the 10. The 10 came back with a bad report on Av 8th. They come back into the camp saying that they will be devoured, that they are just grasshoppers. And it says in scripture, and they seen us that way. Interesting, when I was reading that, it said that, and they seen us that way as well. So the tribes were being seen by these giants and feeling some sort of way, bringing that back into the camp with the proof of how big these are by just the snack that they're eating. This tends to cause a lot of lack of faith. Every man who brought the evil report about the land died before the plague of the Lord, and the people mourned greatly. So the 2 versus the 10 spies, they end up dying in the plague. They did not go over into the promised land. This is the plague that we spoke about in our last study when we were talking about how Moses had to stand at the doorway of the tabernacle with the holy fire. And Aaron had to go out in between what was living and what was dead. He had to stand there with holy fire to stop the plague from going over into God's promised people. The Lord has held land for a certain time. And this is a word for some people who are listening to this now, to go out with the fire of the Lord and stand between what is living and what is dead. You see, he has land held up for you. And yes, it may look like there's giants that are there, but they are holding the land. They are plowing the land. So when you come in, it'll be an excellent soil. It'll be an excellent build. It'll be a structure that was made with purpose of grandness. And we are in that time now that we are looking towards moving into different cities, into different placements. And though it may seem like there's giants afoot, that the Lord has land set for his time. So the Lord holds land for his conquering. And even though it looks a certain way, it's because he's holding it by his power. It is held by the biggest, the scariest. It's intimidating. So it protects what is being valued. This was valued land. This was God's promised land. Just like the area for the temple, for the third temple building, is a valued land that is held by time. And it's time for us to go out into the valley of Eshcol. It's time for us to go to where the grapes are large, to where your door frames are wide, that the Lord has a land for you. It's time for us to bring down the imagination that the giants will defeat, because the giants will not defeat. They are there as a placement holder. They are there for your land that is waiting for you. Remember, on our calendars for 2025, August 2nd and 3rd, be mindful of this time for your Father's calendar, for the time of sorrow, for a great day of mourning. We know that it affects more than just the land of Israel. When Israel had the 21 settlements removed out of Gaza with the hand and the help of the United States, we were hit 7 days later. The 9th of Av, the 21 settlements were taken out of the land of Gaza, which is God's promised land, which is part of God's land. And 7 days later, 1 week later exactly, Hurricane Katrina hit in 2025 in our land, in the United States. It's not just a time of mourning in the Middle East, in the land of Israel. It is a time of mourning worldwide. It deals with nations. We went over the list of catastrophes that happened at the 9th of Av, the start of World War I, special dates of the Holocaust, the Spanish Inquisition. We went over all the things that have happened with the world on the 9th of Av. Av 8th, the spies came in with a bad report, and the scripture says that night there was great mourning and sorrow, being that first night of the 9th of Av. So let's be aware of our Father's calendar. Let's be aware of things that can happen on the nations on the 9th of Av. Be mindful, be watchful, be prayerful. But we're going to stop right there for today. Remember to dive deep in the things of God, and we look forward to seeing you next time.